The Winter Classic is and has been one of the many efforts we've put forth to give our fans more point of contact with the games. Hockey fans doing more things with hockey without regard to what teams are playing. It's consistent with what we've done with the Premier Games, with what we've done with the award show, with what we've done with NHL.com, with the NHL Network and NHL Radio. So we're continuing to do the various things that are available to us to continue to grow the game and, as I said, make more points of contact. We used the Winter Classic in its fourth year to extend our reach by getting HBO Sports to work with us to do 24/7. And so it all builds on each other a step at a time. HBO has told me that they were extraordinarily pleased with 24/7 and they would be interested in doing it again. Wait 1 second. When I say in the future, certainly for another Winter Classic, we haven't discussed anything else, but they believe the access that they got was unprecedented, particularly because it was the regular season and it was two teams, and they were extraordinarily pleased. I'm sorry. You know, it's not anything that we've yet focused on, as has been our history. We do one Winter Classic and we take a deep breath, we let everybody recover, and then we figure out what we're going to do next. We have another outdoor game coming on February 20th, so we actually have to get through that one before we focus on next game. Calgary is hosting Montreal in the Heritage Classic, and we have a network negotiation to have as well. And so there are a variety of things that we really need to do before we start thinking about next year. Something we're going to have to reflect on. The notion of prime time is something, in terms of what we were doing, it actually had 24 hours for us to decide with NBC that that's what we were going to do. So we'll sit down and we'll talk about it.
Get both coasts involved in that game.
Actually, the possibility of teams that, for weather reasons, might not come to mind as your first choice to host the event obviously get considered for the possibility of participating as a visiting team.
Ranging from the level of play to revenues and the economic situation for the league.
We're having a good season on all fronts. The game on the ice is good. Look at the races in the West. If you yawn and take the night off, you can drop from 5th to 12th place, in the blink of an eye. The game is good. I think Coley's been doing a good job with supplemental discipline, and I think the players, by and large, have handled, for example, the new rule on blindside hits to the head well. Revenues are strong, attendance is up, and things are continuing to grow. So in a difficult economic environment, we're holding our own and even growing a little. Yeah, that's why I said revenues are up. I'm sorry. Yeah, we 4 or 5% maybe early projection, but we seem to be in a good place in terms of the business. And I know you've probably seen the press releases that we've put out. The national business, particularly with sponsors and the like, has been growing big double digits, something like 83% over the last 3 years, and that's been in a recessionary environment. We're actually doing okay.
Maybe you start to get some phone calls from some new people?
Well, I can't respond to that right now because we're actually in an exclusive negotiating period with Comcast versus. So we're not in the marketplace right now. Hopefully, if the merger with NBC Universal is approved, then we'll be in a position to have the negotiations with both of our current partners together and then take it from there. But we're not in the marketplace right now. Those rumblings don't come from us. We're extraordinarily happy. And based on the research we get that we do with our fans, people think that Versus does a very good job of covering the game. Their distribution has increased pretty significantly since we've been on. They've been an extraordinarily good partner, as has NBC. But the rumblings aren't really coming from the hockey world.
Down with Donald Fair?
We'll define sit down. Have we spent time together? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you discussed issues, or has it just been more
we
surface kind of stuff?
we had we've been talking periodically over the last few months. I saw him in Buffalo, and we spent some time together during the gold medal game at the World Juniors, and he was in the office with one of their business people to discuss what we were attempting to begin to lay out and plan for the premier games for next year. That's been so far. I think he's at a point now where he's absorbing, going through the learning curve of learning what the NHL and what hockey are all about. While he's obviously been in professional sports a long time, I think he'd be the first to admit that there's a fairly good-sized learning curve that has to be accomplished before things can move substantively.
Does Donald Fear differ from Buck?
You know what? It's not a question I've ever been asked before. It's nothing I've ever focused on, and I'm not even so sure it would be a good idea for me to answer it if I had. You know, Donald and I are going to have to work on building a relationship surrounding hockey without regard to anything that's happened in the past, because my own belief is we need to look forward. The system has worked pretty much as anticipated. There have been a few little things, I'm sure, on both sides that were surprises, and my guess is both sides are going to have things that need to be talked about when we get to collective bargaining. I would respectfully urge that focusing on the NHL and collective bargaining right now is way premature. The three other majors, football, basketball, and baseball, all have collective bargaining agreements that expired before ours. You know, I think we're the caboose on this train, so I'm not sure. We're having a great season going on. We got another one to come. I'm not sure why any attention is really being focused on our collective bargaining right now.
Because of the history and because of the fact that there could be one or more major sports leagues not playing at the same time.
But that's we're after all those guys. So, you know, if you'd like, focus on the other three. I think they're more front and center than we are right now.
But and also, I mean, given the history of the canceled season, this league has come back so strongly from that. It's human nature to wonder, okay, could it happen again? Could you come back from another long stoppage?
But it's we have this season and another full season. There's a new executive director who hasn't even really gotten his feet wet yet. I think anything at this point is speculative and premature. What is right, and you focused on it, I think, very well, is it's extraordinary how strong we came back from the year off. You know, I periodically see commentaries suggesting that somehow we were still overcoming the damage. We overcame the damage the first day we were back from the work stoppage. We had record revenues and record attendance we had record revenues in every season post the work stoppage, and 4 out of the 5 years we had record attendance. Our fans have been great in understanding what we had to go through, and because we took huge step forward in addressing our issues, our fans got it, and the game on the ice and the competitive balance is all a function of what came out of the year off.